Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher. I hope you had a good Christmas and or holiday, whichever's yours. And I'm going to proceed on doing the owl. And what I'm going to do is we're going to mark out the face just temporarily so that we can start shaping and knowing where the face will be. We don't want to interfere with it. So I'm going to sort of give you some measurements for the face. And then we'll mark out the body. And then I'm going to do this in two parts. I'm going to do the markings on this video and show you how to do that. And then on the next video, we will actually show you the tools I use and how I work the material down and getting the shape of the owl. So bear with me, and I'm going to relocate the camera and we'll get that going. Thank you. Okay, I think we're back again. Here we go. Now, we have the blank, and we have to establish, you're going to have tufts, which are these guys right here, that are sticking out on this blank, and they come down about there, and this one comes up and around like here. This is just excess wood, but I don't cut exactly right on the line. Now, between these two, we want sort of a straight line. So most of the blanks should get you pretty close, but I'm going to ask you just from where this one stopped and this one started, draw a straight line across, and that'll be the very top of the head. As we're looking straight down on this, like this, and not tilted up where you can see the back side or anything else. This is going to be straight up and down. This is dropping away from us. I'm going to ask you to measure from here to here. It should be 1 inch. So you're going to come in a 1/2 inch and put a dot up there, right there. Now, we have to establish a center line so that we can get the face correct. And I'm going to ask you to do this. I'm going to ask you to measure while the owl is flat like this, and you're looking straight down, like I said, like this. I want you to measure, looking down from the top, from this edge, measure down 5/8 of an inch, and not rolling this way or that way. This has to be straight up and down so that you do not see anything but just the edges, and not the back side or this front side so tilted. And what you're going to do is you're going to measure 5/8 and then come down and put a dot right there. Okay. Now, we don't know if that's the correct dot from connecting it from here to there, but what we're going to do, and another thing too, is you don't want to, if you have one of these flexible rulers, you're not measuring 5/8 like from the top down like this. The ruler's out like this. So you're looking straight down, okay? So from the top here down, we measured 5/8 as what I call the crow flies. It's like your ruler is flat with the table. So you're looking straight down on this edge and you're seeing the 5/8 mark, and you come down and you put a dot right there. Now, the width of this head is approximately 2 inches from edge to edge going across there. So what I'm going to ask you at that dot, I'm going to ask you to line maybe your inch mark, aiming towards that dot up top. And at that 2-inch mark, I'm going to ask you to draw a perpendicular line. And what you're going to end up with is a dot up here, and you have a dot down here. You drew a perpendicular line this way. You got this coming this way, which is your vertical line. I'm going to ask you to check it by getting a ruler. And oh yeah, the other thing I didn't do was to draw this line straight on through from dot to dot, right on down, like I did here. And this is where the flexible ruler would come in handy as far as trying to draw downhill here. So you draw that and keep on going. Make sure everything is crosshaired. And then you want to come in and lay your ruler in between to see if you got 90 in each quadrant. And if you do, then you're perpendicular to each other, okay? So that will establish crosshairs. And the crosshairs happen to be the same from the top of the head to the eyes is 5/8 down. So along these this line here, this will be our eye line. I'm going to come out so far on each one and locate the eyes, okay? So the eyes are going to be, let me get my hard ruler on this one. I'm going to come out and put right on this where the dot is. I'm going to come out 3/8 and put a dot, and then come over here 3/8 and put a dot. Then I'm going to draw a parallel line or a perpendicular line at those dots, just like that. There and there. Okay, now the eyes on this owl are 8 millimeters. So I'm going to switch over to the other side of my ruler where it has the millimeters. I'm going to come out and put a dot 4 millimeters out this way and 4 millimeters out this way. I don't think I did that too well. Let's see. Yeah, it should be a little inside that right here. And then over on this side, where the crosshairs are, the smaller ones, I'm going to go out 4 millimeters to the right and 4 millimeters to the left. And then I'm going to go and do the crosshairs up. I'm going to go 4 millimeters up and 4 millimeters down. And I'll do the same on this side. And this side. Now, that's all the boundaries for a circle. So here, watch me here. I'm going to, if you have a template, a circle template, you can just go in right on those points and put your template and get that circle in. I'm going to draw this in. So I'm coming off and arcing down to that point. I'm going to come over on this side and arc down to that one. Then I'm going to come around and arc here and here. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to arc this way. I'll arc this way, and this way. Now, I have roughly an 8mm eye in there, and I'll show you. We'll nail that, because this will be the important one right here. When we go to drill, we're gonna need to get that right on. Okay, so but right now we're just drawing away here, and I want to establish some other points. So from that, I want to also establish where the beak is, and also this mask that we have in here. And this is what I call a mask of the owl. So I'm going to get a measurement from the center line here of the eyes. I'm going to come down a 1/2 inch like this. This I'm almost laying flat, almost. And I put a dot here. Then I'm going to draw a real light. I'm making sure my inch mark is lined up with that center line going between the two eyes, and I'm drawing a real light line coming across here. And the other thing I want to do is come up on the eye center line up here, and I want you to measure out, let's see, from the center of the eye out 9/16 to the left here. So if I go 9/16, it's just a little bit more than a 1/2 inch. Then I'll move my ruler over to the center of the head and go out 9/16 this way and put a dot right there. No, I did that wrong. I'm sorry. It's the center of the eye out 9/16. No, I was doing something wrong. So I got a dot. So here's what we got. We have from the center of the head to the eyes, they're 3/8 out. From the center of the eye out to the outer edge of what I call this mask, or the frontal face of the eye, from here out, it's 9/16. So we have 9/16 here and 9/16 from the center of the eye out, from the center of the eye out, 9/16. So I'm going to put an arc right in here. Okay. And I'm going to arc this a little bit right through that one like that. That's going to represent this curvature here and here. Now, I also see that the way I have to establish the beak. So the beak, I'm saying, from the center of the eye down. So if we go back to this center line here and where the eye is, I'm going to go down 7/16. So I'm measuring down just shy of a 1/2 inch. 7/16 is the mark. So I put a dot right on the center of the center line of the head. Okay? So I hope I'm not losing anybody yet, because this is just measurements that mean a lot after we get going here. So what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to really refine this beak, I'm going to make it like a ellipse almost, or something like it. It looks like a football. Now, this I'm going to come down maybe a 30-second or so off of the center line that goes right through the eyes here. And I'm going to put a dot. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out about a 16th and then come back about a 16th. And I'm going to do it the same way on the other side. So you're going to have something that looks like this. Okay. And this is just temporary. We're going to refine this, but I need to put some boundaries in here so that we don't go all over the place. Now, let me do something here. I have something already marked up that I had done before. I got on the screen here, and I'm going to take a measurement down from that. And that looks like 3/16 down. Now, on this, I'll call it an ellipse. So it's shy of that line we did here, and we're shy of the center line of the eyes. Now, I'm going to measure down. See if I do this right. Hang on. 3/16. 3/16. Yep. Okay. Now, we drew this real light line through here, and it should be, again, perpendicular. So you want to make sure, because all these are, and like I said, to check to see if this line is perpendicular, you could just lay in your ruler, and if it creates the 90 on either side, you're good to go, okay? So I'm going to measure up from this real light line onto this, what is supposed to be the beak. So I'm going to lay this here, and I'm going to come in and 3/16 up from that line. I put a dot, and I'm going to go to the other side and put a dot. So I don't know if you could see that. There it is, there and there. And then I'm going to, from the top down, from the center line of the eye down onto that same one, I'm going to come 3/16 down and put a dot up here. So from the center line of the eye down 3/16, I put a dot, and I come over to the other side and I do the same thing. I put a dot right there. So from this bottom one, it's 3/16 up, both sides, 3/16 up there. From the center line of the eyes down on this, you come down 3/16 and 3/16 from the center of the eye. Okay, so you got dots here and here and here and here. Now, watch me on this. This drawing, you can see it's sort of curving in, and then it comes to a point here. And that point, I don't want to establish yet, but I'm going to, let's see if I did this right. Yeah, I'm going to aim that way, even though I'm going to probably change it later. I'm going to, if you can see how this swings around this tuft and comes down, it comes over the corner of the eye a little bit. When we actually do it, if you look at this one that I already did, the eye's exposed a little bit more. So this drawing needs to be refined just a little bit, but very little. And I'm going to show you how I sweep down to the beak. So I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to come from this corner, and I'm going to just swing over like with an arc, just covering that corner of the eye. It's hardly touching it. And then it's going to swing down onto the beak right at that 3/16 mark. So it goes from here down to there. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to try to mimic that by coming over, swinging right off the corner of that eye, and then dropping it right down like that. Okay, so that you guys can see that. And this is temporary at best, but what I'm doing is sort of drawing in this face, but it's not going to be the end all. This is just sort of preliminary stuff. So I just want to give you this. I'm trying to just on this video mark these out, because at some point when we start rounding this over, I don't want you coming into the face area. So I'm sort of establishing what the face should look like before we get rolling. Okay, so here's what I want to do next. I'm going to turn this around so I could see it. I don't know if it's a little confusing to you, but we have on the bottom here, if we have this, it sort of arcs around this way, and it comes around, and it comes up onto the beak. And then the same way on this side, it comes down, and it's always arcing. It's arcing down, around, and then up onto the beak. So to create that, I already established that 3/16 up on both sides is where we're going to come in on the beak. So, and this real light line is just a tangent point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing an arc down to that line, which is almost where it's going to arc to this line, coming down the eye center line. And then you're going to come off of that, and you're going to swing up and join this other one we had right here. Remember that arc we put in here and here? And then this can arc right on up to that tuft that was coming down through here. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I have this center line of the eye. I'm just using that as a point. I'm going to arc this down to that point, and then I'm going to run along that line a little bit, but I'm arcing all the time. And then I'm swinging this up, and I'm meeting that arc that came down. And then I'm just going to arc this up right to there. So what I'm trying to do is mimic what I have here on here with measurements. Okay, this won't be the end all, because we got to go in and reduce this face. If I show you, see how this curves in, and I'm going to show you on the one I already did already. When you turn this bird this way, you can see that whole mask goes deep into the body. So it's just not right out in front. It gets concave in there on both sides. So I just want to set this up as a frontal view, and then we'll change it as we go. Now, we pretty much know where the head has to be and where the beak is going to be, so we want to stay away from this area when we're rounding the body. So here's what I want to do next. I'm going to lay the blank down. I'm going to come at the bottom here, and I'm going to measure the tail. And I'm saying that it looks like it's about 1 7/16 inches, but I'll sort of get it so I can get as an inch. Yeah, inch and 7/16. So an inch and 7/16. I want to split that number in half and come up with a center for this tail. So I'm going to come in and put a dot there. I'm also going to come up here and do the same dot again. Right there. Now, so we got a dot down here and a dot there. Now I'm going to come up into the body here, right through here. And I'm going to measure this, and it's roughly, let's see, 2. And I'm looking from outside, not this edge here, not that edge there. I'm talking about out here to out here. So I'm looking down my ruler so that I get my inch mark here, and I come over here. So this is 2, and let's see, looks like 9/16. So I'm going to go 1 and half of 9/16 is 4 1/2/16, which is right there. Now I'm going to check myself out, see if I'm on center. I got 1 and 5/16, and do I have that on this side? I got 1. No. So I didn't get the right measurement. Hang on. I can't, my fractions are getting terrible today. So I'm going to measure, let's see. Here it is. 2 3/4 roughly. So 2 3/4 is a half, is 1 and 3/8, which is there. And then let's see if I got the same thing over here. Yeah, that's pretty close. It's just a hair off. So I'm going to move that mark right there. What I'm trying to do is get between the 2 edges right here of the fattest part of this outline right in here and get the middle. So I put a dot there. Now I have a dot down here and a dot up here. I'm going to lay this ruler from point to point, and I'm going to run a line up like that. And then I'm going to continue that line right on down into the tail. Okay. Now we're going to flip this over. We're going to do the same thing again. Well, what we can do is we can transfer this around the corner. So we got a spot here already. We come up here, measure the same thing here. Let's see. I have why is it I have more down on one side than the other? Okay. So this side, I split the difference again, and I come up with it right here. So I'm going to lay my ruler between the two, and I'm going to run my pencil line right along there. Okay, now I have the center of what would be this point and the center of this. This is the back, and this is the belly. And then on the side here, we want to just, I'm going to eyeball this one. These are more critical, but these aren't. I'm going to look between where my thumb is here and the pencil point here and say, I'm going to eyeball it and say the middle runs right about here. Okay? Very scientific. And I'm going to do the same thing here. From here to here, if I take the middle and I'm going to eyeball it, I'm running a line right there. Now, these are our boundaries where I want to roll this, round it over, and I want to round this over, and we're going to do all four sides. Now, on this video, I just wanted to get you to get the mask in and the center line, which is exacting, and this one's exacting. These are just references that when we roll this, we roll it up to a point and stop. We're doing this basically here too. But the true outline of this bird is this width here, and that's why we put the pencil marks there and there, and this width here. We're changing it just slightly. We're going to rough through that center line a little bit, but that's actually the thickness we want to maintain, this way and this way from here to here. So if you could get that done, I want to get this going, and then on the next video, I will show you how we round this over, and we'll put a little more contours into here, but we'll actually shape the owl so that it's rounded and it doesn't have these square corners. You remember when I was on the bandsaw, I did a chamfer and just knocked off corners to save you from grinding some of that off. So they're not the exact same on both sides, but they're close. And I wanted to get the excess out of there, and that's all that is. So on the next video, we will start rounding this over, and then we'll start putting some muscle tones and what have you in there. So I hope you got something out of this one. If I confused you on anything, always make a comment in the comment section of my video and send that to me, or through my email if I confused you at all on any of this, which it could possibly be. When I was teaching classes, I had some quandary, but I'm always here, and it's the same way for you. If you need to contact me and get a clarification, I will be glad to do that. So get this thing done. We'll move on to the next part of this on the next video, and we'll start rounding this over. And like I said, if you enjoyed what you see, if you would give me a thumbs up, and if you also, I would appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel, and if you have any friends that are interested as well. This is a real neat project to get into if you want to do an owl. This is basically how a lot of it goes as far as making owls. And like I said, I turned the head 90 degrees so that it gives it real movement. And I think this is a nice pose. So hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next video. And if you need anything as far as eyes, the feet, the blank, or the patterns, contact me. I also have kits to contain everything with that. If you get to me through my email, I'll be glad to send these out to you if you're interested in purchasing the kits or whatever you need. So thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video.